Welcome, my clashing friends. We're talking about best and worst base designs. I'm going to start with the worst, and at about the 10-minute mark, I'm going to show you some good base designs. This is for war. So, this base, you see these all the time, these trophy bases, ring bases. This is not what you want to do at all. Why? Because you have two Inferno Towers right in the core, so Valkyries can destroy it easily. You could either Queen Walk in, you could Bowler, you could Valkyrie in. I love Valkyries because the Valkyries, as long as they path to the Inferno Towers right away, they are golden. The air defenses are poorly placed here, with Laloon being an option these days. Terrible. Simply terrible. You could either Queen Walk from the south as well. So there's a lot of ways to take down this base. So do not use that base. Terrible indeed. Another terrible base. This square type ring base. No, my friends. Again, you got to steer clear of having both Inferno Towers and the same compartment. Why? Well, the reason it's so easy to take them out. Once you get Valkyries in there and you have the funnel, as long as you get the funnel in, I'm sure if you're not a good attacker or you mess up on your funnel, you're not going to get it. And you can if you make mistakes. But again, another reason, if you noticed, I've been realizing that I don't think you want Wizard Towers next to air defenses. And I need to change that up on my bases. Why? Because when Loons come in, the Hounds come in, they're going to lock onto, the air Wizards will lock onto the Hounds, and they won't lock onto the Loons. So let's try to steer clear of that. Again, this is another poorly based design. It looks good and looks kind of neat to look at, but no, in reality, not so much. It's pretty easy to take down because, one, you don't need jump spells, really. You could just break in with wall breakers, take down the enemy queen, or and clear the CC. And really, it's just terribly done, because even with Loons, look at this. If you bring in Loons in the La Loon portion, they'll path right to those Inferno Towers. I mean, it's very simple to get to. There's nothing in the core. So steer clear of this one, my friends. If you have these sort of trophy bases, these ring type bases, I don't like them for Town Hall 10. Now, it's a different story ring base for Town Hall 11. We'll get into that when I talk about Town Hall 11 bases in another video. Yet again, guys. Now, stick around. I'm going to show some replays and attacks on these bases so you get an idea that it's easy to take down. So don't go with these guys. I know these are a lot of bases, and we face these clans, I would say, all the time. Clans with these type of bases pop up so much these days. It's ridiculous. Now, this is a little better. I'll give you that. This is much better base designs than the first, but this is still not the greatest. Why? Well, you can Queen Walk look at that. The Inferno Tower is out of range. You can Queen Walk this whole southern section. If you wanted, you could Bowler Valkyrie in the core in one jump, and the one jump connects both the Inferno Towers. You could also Queen Walk up north and have her come south. She'll take down at least 2 air defenses, and then Laloon the rest of it. So I am not a big fan of this one at all, even though it's better. This is not quite a Dragonflower base at all. So it's still not the stuff you want to do. And you don't really want to have a lot of units around your Inferno Towers, because they're going to freeze them, and then you're wasting a Wizard Tower or Teslas or things like that. Another poor base design. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to show you some attacks. Just showing you, if you have these in your clan, maybe you're just lazy about building it, but don't get lazy. At 10-minute mark, I'm going to show you some good bases. I'm going to show you my bases I've used that have worked well. I might have to be changing it because of the air, but you can also just go watch some CWL replays. The war, I know Powerbang hosts them, and other people show those attacks. Copy one of their bases. Yes, he might show you 3 stars on them, but they're extremely tough bases, and I don't care. You got to play the odds. The most people you're going to face, they're not going to be able to handle that type of base. So take a base, you could copy it on one of the good clans, or and then tweak it. Change the air traps up. Change a couple things around. Even you can move some walls here and there if you wanted to. But here's attack. This is a very easy base to take down. And the reason why this failed, though, I will say, his funnel, he just started a little late. He wasted precious seconds at the beginning. And the goal here, and the reason why these bases aren't any good, one, you don't need to bring jump spell. That means you get an extra spell for your Loons. 2, you don't need a kill squad, because the king easily took down the enemy queen. And honestly, they just don't do well. First of all, if you notice here, expos, you gotta put your expos up. Before the update, I had my expos down because everyone was rocking ground. They were using bowlers. They were using, I guess, more Queen Walk Valkyries. Now that with the change of the new meta, and it's totally air now at Town Hall 10 and even Town Hall 9, honestly, and Town Hall 11, actually all Town Halls, you gotta put those expos up in the air, no doubt about it. Now, what about the skeleton traps? I have, I think, on my base, one of them or two of them up and one set to ground. You could do all three of them up if you wanted. So that's up to you if you want to try those little skeleton traps. I mean, that little stuff makes a difference because they will, latch on to healers. If you're doing Queen Walk, they'll obviously take down the loons as well. He just ran out of time here, but a great attack. And honestly, if he didn't make the mistake at the beginning, he would have had the 3-star easy. So don't use that base. We're moving on. Yes, this is a longer video today. Stick around. I'm just showing you that these bases are terrible. Guys, please, I think I can build a base in like 20 minutes. If you take your time and you're slow. If you're really fast, you maybe can crank one out in 10 minutes. I think it takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to actually build the base because I'll have to tweak it too. So, and then you want to test it as well. Now let's talk about that, testing bases. Now, how do you test a base and how do you go about doing it? Well, friendly challenges. Have your clanmates attack it over and over using ground and air. Preferably air now, but still use it. It should still defend against ground as well, but certainly air, and have them attack. How will they come in on the base? If that's where everyone's coming in on the base, then you could set traps there. You could have extra storages to slow down. Maybe if they're doing a hero charge or a kill squad, things like that make a difference. See how they're going to enter the base. A lot of times people come on the queen side. So how do you protect the queen? Do you set her up where she's easy, not too easy to get to, but then you have tons of traps all around it, like double giant bombs to slow down heroes, or extra expos surrounding her, or do you keep her in the center? So you got to play with it, figure out how people are attacking, and you can tell this is Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10 max base. This is a max base 3-starred using ground. Come on, guys. I mean, ground's powerful, but this is why this base is terrible. I see these bases all the time. I mean, I think I've seen every war. Well, not every war. If it's a solid clan, they're not going to be rocking it. But if they're just a regular clan, which you mostly face, you're going to be seeing these bases. So change it, guys. You got to step up for your clan. Take the time. Take 30 minutes. Take 45 minutes. Build your base, and then practice on it. Try to figure out where they're going to attack and go from there. Make the tweaks, put the air defenses in safer spots. Now, a lot of people you could do maybe a ring base, not a ring base, but some sort of have air defenses all in the core or kind of near the core, protected. I don't know. We're gonna probably see some new base designs coming out to protect against the air. But then, what does that mean? Well, if you protect too much against the air, that means people will come into the ground. Again, this was a common base way back in the day. Maybe in the day before this was like before bowlers came out and were strong. This might have been. This was I guess a decent base for a trophy base. But yes, this is a Town Hall 11 versus a Town Hall 10, but still, even Town Hall 10s, I have rarely been 3-starred by a Town Hall 11. I mean, it does happen, but it's still very hard because I'm a max Town Hall 10. So you got to just, think a little. And don't worry, guys, we are moments away from getting to some good base designs. I just wanted to show you these attacks and just kind of see where the meta is and where it's going. I know a lot of people have been asking about base designs and war bases, and honestly, you're going to just tweak it. It might change, so you might have to build your base. You might build a base 30 minutes, and then it turns out to be terrible. That's okay. You're just going to have to build a new one, okay? So you got to just put in the effort to make sure your clan survives and your base doesn't get tripled. If your base is not getting tripled often, that's a good base, okay? Of course, every base can be tripled, so don't worry about that. If it just happened one time, don't think, oh my gosh, I gotta change it. No, not at all, my friends. Not at all. Here we go. Time for the best base designs ever. Here we go. Now, these aren't the best. I mean, these are really good bases, but these are the type of bases you want to do. We face this clan and very solid bases here. Now, they were proven in the sense we could not triple. I don't know if we tripled any of their 10s, 10v10. So this is why is this a tricky base for air? It might not be the best, but it's really cool because why? A kill squad can't get all those air defenses. That's why they're spread out. There's a reason for that reasoning. Yes, you could get down 2. Your king could get 1 if they funnel right, but you're going to have to use wizards, and the queen could get the other. But you're going to have to, you can't just do like a straight kill squad and get 2 air defenses and a bunch of defenses. They're spread out for a reason. The queen is in the center of the base. That means she can't be lured easy or killed easily. So that's important. And the kings next to her, I kind of like that actually, because if the kill squad comes in, they both encounter the king queen at the same time. So there's a solid base. Here is another base, very solid as well. I like these island type bases. One, because if they're rocking bowlers, the bowlers won't hit the island. I mean, they're not going to hit those inferno towers unless their bowlers kind of skip and hit it through it, but they're not going to lock onto it by themselves. Why is this one tricky? Again, it's kind of deceptive. There's many compartments. It can be hard for ground. Now, air, we'll have to see. You can do a kill squad over here and take out the queen, but you are going to have to encounter that town hall. So that's going to slow down your hero portion or your bowlers. And if you come a little farther north or to the, I guess coming from the east here would be better because you're away from that town hall. But there are, I think, more defensive structures over there. Tough thing. I'm going to show you some attacks on these bases, so don't worry. I like this one as well. You can tell there's a lot of compartments here. Things are spread out. The air defenses cannot be killed very easily. Yes, you can. Yes, you can get. You can do some queen walking on the air defenses, but they're going to be encountering a lot of defensive units. So if you break her in too soon, those inferno towers will lock on, and she won't be healed. So tough stuff. Very difficult base. That was a Town Hall 11 versus Town Hall 10. We didn't even get a 3-star in that one because of that's the difficulty of the base. The queen, you can tell, is centralized. Now this one, the air defense, some of the wizard towers are next to the air defenses and some aren't. That's something I want to play with more. Not putting your wizard towers next to air defenses because you want the wizard towers to lock onto the loons. So as the hounds go by, they'll then relock on to the loons as they come through. So something to bear in mind. I know on this base you have 2 of the wizard towers locked next to the air defense. Now I will say, don't put stuff around your inferno tower. That's calling for a freeze. One freeze is going to get an air defense, an expo, and the inferno tower. That is not good. If you're going to have your inferno towers, don't have anything around them. That's why I like the island bases. There are other base designs where you don't have to have that, or have maybe less important structures like some cannons around the inferno towers, because everyone again is rocking air, so you got to defend for that. Just showing you a bunch of bases here. All these are really solid. We couldn't 3-star them. This is kind of weak. I don't know. It's kind of weak because you can I would kill squad this one because he just kind of failed on the jump. But if you put a jump there, the kill squad, if it's strong enough, will get some air defenses and the queen. So I don't know about that one, but we'll see. We will see. Now let me get into the attacks here. Let me show you these, and at the very end of the video, I'm going to show you my bases that I've used and the one I currently use, and I love it. We'll see if it's changing. I haven't been 3-starred yet by a Town Hall 10. One time I think, and I've had it like 3 months, or I don't know how long I've had the base. I can't remember. Here's the attack on this 4-corner air defense kind of base. Now, one thing, he could have gotten this air defense to the south without his barbarian king. One Valkyrie would have done it, and the wizard, or a couple wizards and a Valkyrie, and he could have used his king maybe on something else to tank for his loons. That could have helped, or tank for even his dragons. But you can tell he was able to get down all the air defenses, but because of the air sweepers are in the core, they're not easily attainable, and kind of the and his expos were up, those dragons were taken out very quickly. Again, have the expos up. I think all these bases have expos up, all the good ones, if I remember right. Now, here is, again, this is kind of how the deception of these island infernos. You think, oh my goodness, the bowlers will take down that inferno tower, or at least the queen will. No, you're going to find out. See that compartment as it like kind of swoops into the core? There's a reason for that, and there's other compartments there, so the bowlers will lock on. They're not going to go to the inferno tower first. They'll go to these other compartments, and they'll still be being hit by the inferno tower. That whole raid, that whole kill squad was hit by the inferno tower. If you go back and look, it wasn't even taken down. The queen doesn't even get it down. That is the power of these kind of compartments. They kind of swing around and go into the core, so the bowlers spread out if you're bringing bowlers, or even if you brought Valkyries. So maybe not the best entry point, but still, that's the difficulty of the base. When you're struggling to find out where to enter on a base and how to take it down, you know it's a tough base. Here are my bases. I'm going to end it with this, guys. I know. Thanks for sticking to the end. So I changed some things up on my base to kind of prevent from air attacks. That was the first one. Here is another base design. I'm not a big fan of this one. I don't think I made it just to practice. The queen is in the center, but it's very easy to La Lune. Everything's kind of symmetrical, so I don't like that as far as the La Lune portion. Not the greatest. You can tell my wizard towers are right next to my air defenses on all 4 of them. I don't like that at all. So not the best. I don't know. It's held up. I mean, it's definitely a tough base, without a doubt. It's held up, but there are better bases. This is a good anti-2-star Town Hall 10 base, but you should not be running anti-2s unless you're facing a clan that's terrible and they can't 3-star worth a dickens. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. We will see you next time. And as always, Halo.